All right, what's up, everybody? Hope everybody's good. Welcome back into Baseball and Coffee, 10:01, Monday, April 13th. I was just midway through recording my JJ Weatherholt video. I have a little more to add on to that at the end, so I'll splice that in probably later today. I have another, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games to get to on that. I hope people watched a little bit of the Carson Bench video, watching Carson Bench hit that I posted last night. It's fun to make these because you do get to see just one guy over and over again and kind of what they're going through on an individual level as they try to get used to the big leagues. So it's just cool. It's a fun exercise. Some guys are doing good. Some guys are struggling. Doesn't really mean a whole lot for their future, but it's interesting to watch that initial run through and how everybody attacks them. So I'm having fun doing that so far. Hope everybody's great. We have some great pitching performances last night that we'll have to detail as we get started today. I'm only going to be here for about an hour and a half today because I have a tea time at 12 with some buddies. So I'll be driving out of here right at 11:30, but let's try to get it in as much as possible. Appreciate the love on the video here. You can see with the Benj especially, it's just a massive amount of fastballs, and then once they speed them up, changeup's pretty good. You want to stay away from breaking ball in the zone, though. That's what he's hammering even now. Well, what he would hammer right now with his timing, the way it looks. All right, here's the standings as we clock in on a Monday. Rays, Yankees, and Orioles all tied atop the AL East at 8 and 7. Yankees have lost 5 in a row, so they hit the struggle bus after feeling themselves early. Jays, Red Sox, both 6 and 9. In the Central, Twins and Guardians are 9 and 7. Royals, Tigers 7 and 9, White Sox 6 and 10. They've made some moves though. There's going to be a video on Noah Schultz Major League debut popping up probably tomorrow night because that's when he's making it. And they also called up my guy Sam Antonacci, which is great, from Team Italia. In the West, Rangers and A's are 8 and 7. Look at those A's winning 5 in a row. Shout out Victoria and all the people in the Bay Area. Angels 8 and 8, Mariners 7 and 9, Astros 6 and 10. NL East, Braves 10 and 6, Marlins 8 and 8, and the rest are 7 and 8. Mets are 7 and 9. They've also lost 5 in a row, and they're going to the Dodgers now. I saw Tommy Pham up. No word on who's down yet. Pirates 9 and 6, Reds 9 and 7, Cardinals 8 and 7, Brewers 8 and 7, Cubs 7 and 8. This division's been pretty good so far. Tommy Pham's going to slap some sense into the Mets. I mean, yeah, probably. If that's what they let him do, it probably will. He'll have some words. We'll see how they land. Dodgers 11 and 4, Padres 10 and 6, Diamondbacks 9 and 7. So those 3 teams have been pretty strong. Padres have won 5 in a row, and then the Giants and the Rockies are at 6 and 10. All right, hope everybody's doing good. I wanted to jump into immediately Skubal first from yesterday. Him and Sandy had the matchup that we wanted. Unfortunately for Sandy, he got clipped for 3 homers and got kind of beaten by the young Tigers guys, including McGonigal, 3 for 4. But Skubal on the other side, 6 and 2/3, 2 hits, 2 walks, 7 strikeouts, 96 pitches. Let's look at the breakdown on Scoobs. I did read a little bit of a blurb this morning from Lance Brzezinski about how Skubal has continued to cut his pitches more and more and more over time. His fastball usage is up, which is a little weird considering how effective his changeup was last year. Also, the changeup, there's some thought out there that maybe he doesn't have as much feel for it, but we'll get a glimpse because he's been pitching well. I mean, the results have been good. All right, 39 four-seamers, 21 changeups, 19 sinkers, 12 sliders, 5 curveballs. Average 96.4 on the heater, so down a little bit from where he was last year, but I think he's known to peak more in the summer with his velo. Did handle his business, though, with first pitch strikes, 67% of those. Not as much whiff. You'd expect to see more whiff than that out of him, only 25% whiff, but did get 46% on that changeup. In terms of zone rate, you can see only 29% zone rate on changeup. So he's pounding the zone with both of his fastballs and then trying to get you to chase off of that. So Scoobs and the Tigers were facing the Marlins of Miami. And this was yesterday. All right. Tarik Skubal, let's speed watch it. All right, first batter, it's going to be a 3-1 sinker to Austin Slater, known lefty killer. Ooh, a little look what I found. Flips it over there for the first out of the inning and of the game, and it comes on a sinker. Now he's going to get Agustin Ramirez on a fastball. Ooh, gets away with one there. That was very good ball to hit, but he's under it. 96-9, flies it out to Javi. 2 outs in the first, and then he's going to get his first strikeout of Marcy on a backdoor sinker. Just a really tough pitch to swing at. Let's watch this whole at bat. Let's watch him chew up Jake here. 96, backdoor strike. So that's the same pitch he finishes him on. Change up, ball there, 4-seam, accidental foul ball, and then the backdoor sinker. So, listen, you get up to the big leagues, you're not going to see a lot of lefties, especially that are throwing glove side sinkers with command like that. So, no blame on Marcy for taking that pitch. That's just dominating. All right, second inning, and he's going to start it off with an out on a changeup to Otto Lopez. Wow, look at them. Going for the gold glove this year, Scoobs. Making 2 plays in the first 4. All right, strikeout here. Fastball in, 98-4. What's the metric on this now? So 15 vert, -2. So this definitely has a lot of a feeling like it's boring in on the hitter. Because that's what it looks like here. Otherwise, why you wouldn't swing at that. But he gets completely tied up, and that's just nasty. And he's going to finish his inning with a strikeout here as well of Norby with that changeup. That's what we're used to seeing. We're used to seeing a lot of chase on changeup away. Cleats look pretty good too. Cleats that Scoops is rocking. So pretty dominant second inning with 2 strikeouts there. Third inning, another 1-2 count. I noted his first pitch strike proficiency in this game. That's massive for him. Massive for him. This fastball kind of jams Edwards a little bit, shoots it out to center, but Javi is there, 1 out there. Next at bat, called strike 3 to De Los Santos. I don't know what he's looking for there, but we'll be seeing you. And then another out here. So completely dominant through the first 3 innings. 9 up, 9 down. Couple strikeouts, no walks. Basically everybody's been 0-2, 1-2. That's what we're used to seeing. And now we're on to the 4th, and it's going to be a 4-pitch walk to start off the 4th. Very uncharacteristic of Skubal, but that's baseball. And then Ramirez worked him to a 3-2 count before, ooh, pretty good swing on a changeup there. But Javi's on that, and that ball really ballooned up, huh? 89-6, so he must have caught that on the cap. That's the beautiful thing about his changeup. It gets swing and miss, but it also gets weak contact. It's a double whammy pitch. So even though that swing looked aggressive, he caught that off the end. All right, 1 out in the 4th. Here comes a sinker. Marcy comes on top of it, chops it. They get 1. They're not going to get 2. Oh, they do get 2. Wow, and it's a 2-pitch double play. So that first at bat, he went backdoor sinker to Marcy. This time he goes sinker up in, completely beats him. And he ends up getting a double play. Nice turn by the Tigers there, and we are on to the 5th. Otto Lopez in play out. Kind of jams him with that 4-seam again. It's boring in pretty good from that angle he's got. And that's why you're seeing some of these righties not quite get to it. Yep, same thing there. Rinse and repeat. And that's the thing about Skubal. You know, we've talked about it a lot on this program. He likes to pitch hard in and then soft away. It's a very normal approach as he just smokes Connor Norby here, trying to go front door heater. But for the most part, he wants to speed you up in here, and it's tough because the ball's kind of boring in this direction. And then he'll dead fish you away with the changeup once you have to speed up to cover that. So it's just a simple game, but if you can execute a simple game with the stuff he has, it's going to be hard to hit it. Anyway, here's a hit by pitch. Poor guy, overkicked heater. And now Edwards going to get out with a slider. Yeesh. Roll over on the slider for Edwards. Easy play there. On to the 6th inning. And he's going to get a strikeout here on a fastball. Up. Oh, fastball down. Terrible chase. Gets bailed out there. Sometimes you get bailed out. All right, next at bat. Good swing there. That one was a good swing by the batter. Hit that pretty hard, right? 98-3, Javier Sanoa. So this is one where the sinker's trending back to the zone, and he actually gets the barrel pretty much to it. It's just tough because it's 97, so even on that, he's a hair late. It doesn't look like it, but he's a tiny, tiny bit late. Or he would have hit that ball a little more in the left center gap. 2 outs there. Is this going to be the only hit? A little blooper into center. Yep. So that's what you're hoping for. If you're a righty, you're going to get blown up. You're going to at least get a hit. This is another good pitch by him, but Slater gets rewarded for just putting it in play. And that's part of it sometimes. All right, base hit there. Here comes Ramirez. He's going to punch him with a slider. Not a huge part of his game, but I think that's what makes it effective when he does throw it, is that there's not a ton of that. Yep, comes up and around on that. All right, he's out for the 7th, and I do think he gets chased out in this inning, right? Change up here to Marcy. Very bad location. Almost gets clipped for a homer, but it's going to end up being a triple because of this route by Carpenter. So good job by Marcy hanging in there on a 2-strike count, but this is obviously not where he wants to locate this changeup. Damn. It's just a bad pitch. It happens. All right, next batter. This is going to score the 1 run he allows. Otto Lopez. And you got a 7-0 lead, so you don't really need to care about that run. You just need to keep this inning moving. Fly ball out to the wall. Marcy tags. He scores. And then here's a walk. So maybe getting a little tired as this game's going on. I mean, that's a pretty damn close pitch. But he doesn't get it, and they don't challenge it. Here's a strikeout on a changeup, and then he gets pulled after that. So only 2 strikeouts on changeups that I saw. The rest were basically fastballs, and he doesn't quite get through 7. I don't know what to make of him yet. It doesn't look like the changeup is fully dialed in yet, in my opinion. And the fastball is definitely, to Lance's point, it's definitely cutting a little bit more, or at least it seems like it is. So it's morphing a little bit. But I would expect once he gets a feel for that changeup, he'll be back. He'll be back striking out more guys, creating more whiff, because 25% whiff isn't him. But you see how he controls the count. He's always ahead in the count. He's putting the pressure on the batters. Yes, the game is simple, but it works. And he still was able to go 6 2/3, 1 run in this game. So great outing by Skubal. He gets the win in the matchup versus Sandy. And he's off to a pretty good start this year, I believe. Let's go look at his page here. Yeah, I mean, looking good. Not as dominant as before, probably in the expected numbers. So he hasn't hit his stride yet. But when you are not at your top level and you're still putting out, 4 starts with a 2.22 and a .95 whip, that's when you know you're one of the greatest pitchers in the game. When you're not even really clicking on all cylinders and you're still shoving. Like I would die for those numbers to start my season, and he's doing it pretty dang easily. All right, let's get into the chat here for a minute. We are not to handicap status yet, Victoria. We are still learning because I did not play golf at all while I was pitching. So started playing again last year a little bit. I had a lesson yesterday. I hit a little bit. Today we're going to play. What can I say? I'm not very good, but we're working on it. We're working on it. All right, can you check out Grant Taylor today? He's insane. His stuff is arguably Mason Miller level. Let's just do that now. Let's just do that now because he wasn't on my list. But you say he's Mason Miller level? I'm in. 7 games, 4 starts, 8 1/3, 10 strikeouts. That's weird. 8 1/3 with 4 starts, so they're using him as a opener, somewhat of an opener. He's averaging 99.1 on his freaking heater. I've never seen this guy pitch. I guess I didn't notice him in 2025. Damn, 99.1. That's insane. Chase, 37% so far, 7.2 extension. So not only is he a big dog with a high arm angle, but he also has huge extension. So this fastball is going to be very fast. It's a 4-seam, a curveball, a slider, a cutter, and a sinker. Let's see if we can look at his game logs. Got a couple games with some big strikeout totals to take a peek at. Let's watch his last couple outings. Yeah, we'll just watch his last 2 outings. White Sox, Brewers, first one on the 29th. All right, here he is, Grant Taylor. First batter, Bryce Terang. Let's watch this guy. 99.6. First thing I noticed, he's got a pretty big lower half, and he is coming with it over the top. Look at this. I mean, one thing I do like for strike throwing purposes is his arm is like pretty vertical here, and it's kind of going to be like in the middle of the strike zone, so he's going to be able to probably not miss too much east-west. His issue will be a little more north-south. When you have this stuff, it'd be cool. But let's see. He does punch a bunch of dudes out. Here's a curveball. Nice pitch there. So that's 2 speeds down. That's 15 off the heater. Here's another heater. What's the metric on the heater? 18 and 2. So it's a little bit of that perceived cut, which you see from the high arm slot. But also pretty good ride. And we mentioned his extension and velo already. So all those things are playing together. Yeah, Terang's late and under that. And then he's going to punch him with the curveball. That's pretty nasty. All right, next batter. William Contreras, slider, strike one. Ooh, 101.9 sinker. Oof, okay, so there's way more in the tank than I even thought. Damn, that's 102? 102 accidental strike? Slider off that. I don't know how you took that. And then he's going to punch him with the four-seam at 99.3. So why is the sinker harder? But yeah, I mean, his fastball is explosive. And definitely with the amount of extension he's getting, you can see why. This is going to be a walk, so we'll skip it for the most part. Ends up walking him on a curveball. And then a 2-pitch out here to El Gary. Fastball down, ball 1. Slider off that.
To the left side, tough play. Montgomery with time throws on the run.
Oh my God, what a pick by Murakami. Absurd pick by Murakami.
To the left
on the
side,
throw from Colson.
Montgomery with time throws on the run and a scoop by
All right, so it's a four-seam, it's a sinker, it's a slider. He's going to strike out Frelick here. And it's a curveball. Fastball there. You would think the fastball would really play versus lefties with that over the top. Yeah, it's going to jam them. They're going to be under it a lot. Why is this guy not the closer? He might be headed that way. He might be headed that way. Fastball up and away. His opening inning this year against the Jays was unreal. He was completely unhittable. Maybe I'll check that in a minute. All right, another fastball strikeout here. Yeah, lefties, he's going to chew him up. I mean, there's no doubt about that. No doubt about that with that fastball, the way that's shaped. All right, so that was a 1-inning, 3-strikeout piece. Not seeing anything against the Jays. Opening inning this year against the Jays. Not seeing anything against the Jays. Did pitch against the Royals and went 2 innings with 2 strikeouts on the 12th. So maybe we'll watch that real quick. Royals, White Sox. I like a little detour. This is good. Royals, White Sox on the 12th. Taylor. So they used them as an, they used them 8th inning here. All right, so let's see. Ground out Michael Garcia, 100 mile an hour.
Back through the middle, it hit the front of the mound.
Okay, next batter, 3-pitch strikeout of Bobby. So let's watch this. Slider, strike, 99.8 4-seamer. Those are those Royals City Connects, which I gave a 4 out of 10 of my baseball and coffee rankings. And then a heater down take. So pretty dominant at bat there. And then he's going to get Vinny on an 0-2 heater up. He just got to be more at the top when he's facing those lefties, but that's an out there. Second inning, it's going to be a strikeout here of Salvi on a 4-seam. Yeah, once he gets up, see you later. And then in play out on a curveball here to Carter Jensen. Not a great pitch, but great ballpark to not make a great pitch in. And then a 1-pitch out here to Massey. That ball's actually hit really hard. I bet that when he gets hit pretty hard. But that's a lot of four-seam guys. All right, I want to watch his delivery a little bit. I mean, he gets very compressed in here, comes down. And then watch I think the glove arm is key here. Watch him turn the wrist over and create just an incredible amount of hip-shoulder separation. And then he just catapults over the top, and then the lead leg is pretty dang hardcore too. So it's what you would expect to see from a brick shithouse that throws hard over the top. Wham! All right, we'll keep monitoring this guy. This guy throwing some flames, throwing some fuego flames. Average exit velo 91.6. So that's what I was saying with that four-seam approach. Like, some balls are going to get hit hard, but inevitably he's going to strike a lot of guys out. It's also, he's doing a good job with his walk rate right now, which is part of what I was talking about, where his hand's in the middle of the strike zone. So this is an intriguing guy. LSU guy, 23 years old, second rounder, probably trying to work his way into that closer role. That seems like, I think they've used him as an opener only, so I'm not in love with the opener strategy all the time, but White Sox are trying to find a way to compete right now. What's been dominant so far is the four-seam, but the whiff percentage on the curveball is crazy, 42.9, and really all pitch types are doing fine. He's thrown a few cutters, but we didn't see any of those. But yeah, I mean, that's straight over the top arm angle. I mean, look at that on the clock. Everything's straight up, straight down. Cool guy to look at. Thanks for that. All right, what else we got here? Anthony Nunez has looked good for Baltimore. Arm Mets give up for Mullins. Okay. Taylor looks good. Like, his mechanics absolutely explodes when he releases that. He does. How about Jose Soriano next? That's fine with me. He's on the list anyway, so we can watch him. Twins Andrew Morris, MLB debut yesterday. Interesting guy. Apparently has 6 pitches, 4 years in college, 5 in the minors, but he's 24 because he started high school when he was 12. Wow. So if he deserves a video, then he deserves a video, but I haven't really checked in on Andrew Morris yet. He didn't have any hype. Noah Schultz, I'm reserving thoughts for his debut on Tuesday, so I'll have a watching video on Noah up tomorrow night after he debuts. I like to watch rookies without too much thinking the first time, so I can kind of have discovery on my own there. Why is this guy not starting with that arm talent and pitch mix? That's a good question. Definitely from the way that he's unleashing fury and the energy he seems to pitch with, he looks like he might be more of a reliever type mentally, but I don't know him yet. So you got to always decide if you have a premium guy, like, do you try to groom him as a potential closer or you try to groom him as a starter? White Sox, it seems like they're doing a little bit of more of a relief approach here as he's been opening and pitching high leverage. Yeah, I know you don't like the heel landing very much. You know, there is a little bit of Chapman in the delivery. I would agree. A little bit of a crunch, and then like a big kick out with that lead leg that sweeps before a massive come over the top. So I would agree with that. He's not wild so far, Uncle Ted. I think because his arm's right in the middle of the strike zone. So I don't think he'll be I don't think he'll have great command, but I think he'll have enough control. Adam, did you see this insane Bobby Witt stat? He's been on base 28 times through 16 games, leads the league in steals, but somehow has only scored 1 run. Jeez. Somebody get some knocks behind Bobby on base. Yeah, Noah Schultz on Tuesday. We'll be doing a whole thing on him. They're paying Sir Anthony to close. Why not just let this kid start for 2 months? What's his pedigree? I know we're still talking, we're talking Grant Taylor here. He might still be on the list. I know he pitched quite a bit last year, right? LSU's fall 2022 practice excited scouts who were trying to figure out if Paul Skeens was the best pitcher they'd ever seen, but also pegging Taylor as a future first rounder. He blew out his elbow in an inter-squad game just before the start of the season, requiring Tommy John. He made his pro debut last May, regained his stuff, dominating before getting shut down with a lat strain, so he's had some arm stuff. There are some concerns about Taylor's arm action and effort in his delivery as pertains to durability. So they're worried about his durability, and that's why they are probably, leaning reliever for now. It says he could be a frontline starter if he stays healthy, but he comes with considerable reliever risk. They started him in the minors in 24 at least. In 24, he got 5 starts in the minors. It was all starts in the minors until he got to Double-A in 25, and he was shoving, so they decided to rush him to get him up to the big leagues. It'll be interesting to see how it goes. Yeah, I'm headed to the course right after the show. Yeah, I have a 12 o'clock tee time, so I'll be on for about another hour. He used to be a starter at LSU. I'm pretty sure because of injury concerns. There we go. We just read that. I should have just read your comment a minute ago, and we would have had that. He has great extension, Uncle Ted. You're just generalizing right now. I agree with you, but he's generalizing. I agree with you about heel landing in general, but you're generalizing in this case. He's actually got tremendous extension, and he's got a 6% walk rate. So we'll see if that continues. But yep, saw my guy Savali dominated the Yankees. I mean, not the Yankees, but he dominated yesterday for the A's against the Metros. Ayo, when is your next game as a live reporter? 2 Sundays, not this next Sunday, the Sunday after in Kansas City. I'll be there, but I will be doing Yankees pregame and postgame Friday, Saturday, Sunday this week as they play the Royals. One trick, Nolan Ryan changed Randy Johnson, and one move landing on the heel, you fall off your glove side. Randy struck out 22 that game and didn't look back. I know, but it's never just that simple. I'm with you, but it's never just that simple. Chandler Simpson, somebody who's on the list today. We should get to him if we can. I think we're going to head to Mr. We're still on pitching right now, and Jose Soriano got asked for. So I'm going to jump into Jose Soriano from yesterday. He had another great start. I've been driving the freaking bandwagon. If anybody's plenty of room in it, if you guys want to hop on, I'm telling you, this guy's making the leap. 7 innings, 2 hits, 3 walks, 10 punchies, .33 ERA so far in the season. Absolutely filthy. Sinker, 4-seam, knuckle curve. I think that knuckle curve has been a big level up. He's learning how to use it. He's getting strikeouts on top of just the dominant ground balls. Even though this is a lot of pitches, this should be a relatively quick watch. 28% whiff, 65% strikes, 65% first pitch strikes. Maintains his velo most of the game. I mean, he's still sitting 96, 97 in the 7th. So what's not to like? What is not to like? Who did they play? They played the Reds. Angels, Reds. Jose Soriano, he's been an absolute demon to start the season. Ground ball sinker. Soriano struck out all righties with the Reds, gets crushed and walks all lefties. Well, he's not getting crushed by anybody right now, Uncle Ted. Sorry to tell you. He's dominating. I do think lefties have a much better shot. You're doomed if you're a righty against him. Doomed. But he's gotten better. I mean, the knuckle curve is going to get him some swing and miss versus lefties when he can get count leverage. Nice play here. 4-seam blows up Ellie De La Cruz's bat. Also, for a guy like this, he should be living more inside to the lefties. I think if you're developing a lefty plan for Soriano, it's 4-seamers in, splitters down, knuckle curves down, backdoor, top shelf knuckle curves as well. So that's the first inning. Second inning, Sal Stewart, who's also on my list for a video as well, I believe, even though he got up for last year. Beats him with the sinker in. Nice pitch there. In play out on a splitter to Gino. I love his splitter too. I mean, it comes in like a sinker. A lot of times it's in the negatives. So he's got like kind of 2 variations of the sinker that are different speeds, but they both have incredible drop. And to me, like that's where you start. That's the foundation of Soriano. Incredible downward break on the sinker and changeup with incredible velocity. So that's going to be a contact game, ground ball game. But then you layer in, the fact that even though he's going to have a bad 4-seam metric, it's going to be 98, 99. And then the knuckle curve, to me, because it's so hard, it's so vicious, that's where your chase is going to come in. That's going to get him the whiff. That's where I think he's leveling up. All right, 3-1, and it's a walk here to Nathaniel Lowe. And then a strikeout here of Spencer Steer. There's that 4-seam up away, swing through. This is also something he didn't do either before. Like with righties, he just stayed sinker the whole time. Like, and here he lays the groundwork on sinker because this is his main game. But then when it comes around later and he goes to the 4-seam, He's able to get above the barrel. So I love utilizing both fastballs. We talk about it all the time. Everybody's doing it, but the guys with the great stuff, it works even better. So he is making the leap. All right, here's a punchy on a splitter to Marte. Dirty below the zone. I mean, and again, negative vert. Negative vert from a high slot is incredible, right? He's got a high slot-ish. Negative 4.2. That's gross. Not to mention that it's 92.6 as a splitter. I mean, what are you supposed to do? This pitch tracks as a strike for a while, and then it's just not. So nasty. First out of the third. Another strikeout. Here's that knuckle curve. Yep, vicious. See ya. And he punches the side. Here's another curve to Friedel. I mean, that's middle, and he punches the side. But you just take a look at Soriano from previous years. He was more of a ground baller, just joshing. That's pretty much all he ever did was get ground balls. That was his game. And sometimes you're going to get ground ball hits, and then he's prone to a couple innings with a couple of seeing eye hits, and a big number can happen. You know, his command wasn't as dialed. But like right now, he's getting more whiff. So even when he gets in trouble, he can punch his way out of stuff. Anyway, leadoff hit here on that knuckle curve.
Rippling the pants of Soriano on the mound.
Four seam in to Ellie. I talked about going in on the lefties. That's a perfect pitch. Yeah, Angels are up 5-0. He wasn't worried about much going on here. He's just pumping gas. Another split here. Pretty good swing by Sal. Sal's a good hitter. Flies it out to Trout. 104.2. Yeah, not enough credit. I mean, even though he doesn't get a hit here, this is a great swing. On a down-in splitter to be able to stay inside out it and get under it and through it. Great swing, but not rewarded. Next up, sinker here. Ball, so there's the second walk. And he's going to get a strikeout with a split to Nathaniel Lowe here. So here's a lefty that he punches. This is probably the biggest at-bat of the game, right? He's got 2 on, 2 out. Let's watch how he attacks him. We'll watch the whole thing. First pitch, sinker. Front door strike. No challenge. Now four-seam, probably in again. Yep. Leaves it middle, but he's late. That pitch could have got hit. That pitch could have got smacked. Should have gotten smacked, I would argue, right, Uncle Ted? Fastball up, ball, and then he goes splitter for the swing. Swing and miss. Even though it's down the middle, he had him sped up with all those fastballs. Actually, it's off the plate away, but speeds him up. So, continues to be dominant there. On to the next. 5th inning. Strikeout on a sinker. Gross. I mean, it's one vert. One vert at 98.4. This is like what Clay Holmes was doing as a closer, and he's just doing it all game long as a starter. Yeesh. I'm telling you, he's so nasty. He's so nasty. 95 splitter. What? Exactly. He's disgusting. That's why I've been on the bandwagon. And he has the ability to go deep into games because he gets quick outs with his ground ball stuff. Here's a knuckle curve. Bink. Doesn't even mean to swing at it. Rolls it over to Neto. And then a 2-pitch out. No, a 2-pitch at bat here. He's going to give up a hit. PJ Higgins on the curve. So he's giving up 2 hits to righties on the knuckle curve. Balls that didn't quite make it to the edge. None of them had slug on them, but still. And then a called strike 3 to Friedel. Dots him inside. So it does look like he's figured out that he's got to pitch in on these lefties. I mean, and it's still, this is his last pitch of the 5th. This is pitch 81, and it's 98.9. Nasty. All right, 6th inning. First pitch out on a sinker. Pops him in foul ground. Shanuel is there. One out in the 6th. 2-pitch out here. Ellie De La Cruz. They are just working him in. He rolls it over. 2-pitch out there. And a 1-pitch out here. Beautiful. Sal Stewart. Just misses clipping him again. Man, Sal's on him. He's just not quite getting it. But his passes have been better. So great inning there, 4-pitch inning there, and into the 7th, he's going to get a punch out of Gino. I would think Gino would have no shot against this guy. He didn't have a good game, but I mean, this is so vicious. This is 86. I mean, he's in the race. It's early, but he's in the race. All right, here's another walk. So he did have some walks. And ball 4. That's pretty dang close, but that is a ball. Here's another strikeout. Really punched a lot of guys out in this game, especially late in the game. Nice pitch there to Spencer Steer. See how this sweeper just sweeps across the entire thing. So nasty. All right, next. And his last batter of his outing is a splitter to Noelvi Marte. Ground ball to short. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. And another 7-inning dominant performance from Soriano. It's becoming routine, but 7-inning 2-hit, 3 walk, 10 strikeouts is pretty damn good. Only 2 hard contacts the whole game. It's just he's off to a great start. I couldn't be more on the bandwagon. Check that out. 100th percentile in pitching run value. He's been the best pitcher so far in the game this year through 4 starts. 27 innings, 0.67 whip. And you can see from the previous 2 years, he was punching out less than 1 batter per 9. And if he can maintain his strikeout rate that he's got going now, where it's more than 1 batter per inning, I didn't mean 1 batter per 9. More than 9 per 9, 1 per inning. You know, right now his K rate is where? 32%. I mean, that's very high. If he can maintain even like 28% or higher, I mean, he's going to be in the conversation. I really do. I really think he's going to be a top 5 Cy Young finisher if he can stay healthy looking the way he's looked. He's been awesome. He's been really good. All right, back to the chat. I don't know if you do collagen analysis, but Tegan Kuhn's bottom third Mississippi is something to watch. K's the side with 2 struts and a thrown bat to Ed inning. We do watch college stuff. I've been going through some of the draft prospects one by one. That might be a little granular. That might take me a little time to find, and I have so much to cover today with not as much time. So maybe remind me if we run out of ideas before we're done. I told my buddies to put $10 on Cy Young for Soriano at 80-1. Not a bad idea. Not a bad idea. Jays prospect Johnny King, who throws up to 98 from the left side, 64 strikeouts in 36 innings, an A-ball as an 18-year-old. How do you gauge the upside of that guy? Yeah, I mean, it's clear that he has it. He's disgusting. 98 lefty with doubling up innings to strikeouts, basically. I mean, that's everything you want. Of course, there's more to pitching than just that, but just from this report alone, I know that he's got great stuff, and he's going to grade well probably on some models, and you know, we have to see how he is versus the better competition, because an A-ball doesn't mean a whole lot yet. So get him higher up. Get him higher up, see how it goes. Then you can gauge it from there. Look at Soriano's ERA plus on the season. 1,274. My God. Mike Maddox is the pitching coach for the Angels, hired in October 2025. Everybody loves to give Mike Maddox all the credit, and he has been a dominant pitching coach for a while, so maybe we will give him some credit. Also, my guy Dom Cheaty's over there, who we had with the Mets in the bullpen with me. He's a good dude. Smart guy. Is it the product of having the advanced velo? He has 4 strikeouts and 4 innings in this year and A+. Is this the last guy we we're just talking about? I don't know yet. I haven't watched him pitch yet, so it's hard for me to judge based off of just a couple numbers, but clearly he's going to have good stuff. Is Sal Stewart the greatest hitter of all time? Not likely, but I do think he's pretty good. Soriano's got 3 more years of control, so if somebody wants to pry him out of there, it's going to be a little bit of a package. It's incredible what happens when the Angels finally choose to hire somebody competent to work with the pitchers. Got you. Yeah, Ace Reese, we're going to be looking at him. You have Ace over Rock all day. What about Justin LeBron? How are we feeling about him? Opinions on Schlitter's arsenal and how it might evolve. Well, this year he's gone, incredibly heavy on the 3 fastball mix. I wasn't planning on really watching his outing versus the Rays yesterday, but it's been effective. He throws strikes. I do think that, eventually he'll circle back to throwing more pitches with some speed separation to create more strikeouts. But right now he's kind of in a Sandy Alcantara strategy without the changeup. Just like, I'm going to spam nasty shit down the zone with 3 different actions, and you're going to put it in play and get out a lot. So that's probably what it is. Yeah, we watched Jeffrey Springs on the one of the most recent streams. If you go into my streams, guys, after the fact, and you go to the description, I have timestamps of everything we talked about, all the different players, so it's pretty easy to go back and search through outings if they were featured on here before. And we do have one for you, Daniel, if you want to look at Jeffrey Springs from a few days ago. Also Von Lackey, who we watched, who I thought was, I mean, he's having a hell of a damn year for Georgia Tech. And I love catchers, so I'm always tempted to take a catcher, but I need to get in his head a little bit before I knew. But we've only watched 3 players so far. We've watched we've watched Jackson Flora, Jackson Flora, we've watched Rock, and we've watched Von Lackey, which we will at one point. Yeah, thank you about the chapters. I've been really trying to do that because I think, like, if you can't make the stream, I'm not expecting you to watch 2 hours of a live stream every day if you're just checking in, but maybe there's a player you're interested in and it's a lot easier to sort through it. So that's why I've been doing that. And I'm doing that myself, which is a little bit of work, but it's not bad. I'm getting better at it. Okay. So the other pitcher I had on the list was Degrom to watch his outing versus the Dodgers. There was a bunch of pitchers that looked really good. But I think right now, I think we should look at Simpson because he's been a fascinating guy, to say the least, so far. He's hitting over 400. We did a pretty much a deep dive on Chandler Simpson last year when he first came up because he's just so different than every other player in the league. It's all contact. There's no whiff. He's just trying to slap it on the ground and get on base. But he's fast as hell. And honestly, this is a very useful player. You know, this is a guy I would not want to face. He's a nightmare to have on base. And so here's where his percentile ranks at the moment. 99th percentile in sprint speed. So that's part number 1. He's actually improved his outs above average. Last year, it was embarrassing to look at because he's that fast, and he was -5, 11th percentile in outs above average. But then this year, I don't know if it's working with Kiermaier or what he's got going on, but now he's off to a good start in the outfield. +3 on outs above average. And then at the plate, you know, expected batting average is over 300. He's hitting 411, 441, 482 for a 923 OPS. Now, is it sustainable? Fuck no. But could he be a 330 hitter? Yeah. And could he be super valuable to have on your team? Yeah, absolutely. So I kind of love that we have somebody different has entered the chat in MLB. I'm loving it. And he's off to a great start. So the spray chart is ridiculous. You know, look at this. I mean, he's tough. You know, you saw the Yankees yesterday. They got beat by a bunch of choppers. And sometimes that's how David can take down a Goliath, is just by hitting a bunch of weak shit and getting hits. So let's watch some of these Chandler Simpson hits. Here's one from yesterday. A little slap the other way. And I can tell you, pitchers that are big strikeout pitchers and are used to dominating guys, they don't like to face slappers. It's hard to fool a slapper. It's hard to get them to overswing. He's not chasing that much, you know? So there's a lot to like with this type of swing because it's simply just different than what you're used to seeing. Here's another slapper hit. Look at that slap. I slap it to left. And then another one.
Now, he had a really good spring
off Dustin May.
99 miles per hour on the radar.
I mean, this is good. And you got to think, for him, he doesn't need to hit as many doubles because he's probably going to be stealing bases. So he can get himself to second base pretty easily.
6 feet 6 inches tall, good reach.
And a base hit right back.
That's the other hit he got off of Cam yesterday. Stays through a cutter, slaps it up the middle. So those are some hits to the outfield. Look at all these infield freaking hits. I mean, this is by design. Most guys cannot play baseball this way. But yeah, he just wants to hit a low line drive to the opposite field. If it's on the ground, he's gonna have a chance to beat it out. If it's in the air, you know, he might get it into the outfield. Like, you're not making this play. They know that he's coming. Like, yeah, he should have made this play. He has enough time to get him out, and frankly, I think this should be an error. But this is what speed does too. Speed just screws you over, you know? So I like it. I like the contrast in style. You know, I find it... No, this is the same play. I find it very interesting. It's different than what other people are doing, you know? Here's a bunt.
Chandler Simpson coming up. Squares to bunt.
Oh, yeah, just put it in your pocket all day long. You get it past the left-handed pitcher, you're safe all day freaking long. I love that he's getting a chance.
Little tapper. Pass them out.
On Baseball Savant, his home plate to first base is 3.95 seconds. Number 2 is 4.19. That's a huge gap. That's a huge gap. Huge gap. Thanks for that comment, Dan, because it's so true. And here's once you get it past the pitcher, you're cooked. He's in there all day long. What else we got? We got some more bunts over here, maybe? Yeah, this is a nightmare for a closer. You don't want to face this guy. Oh, slight bobble. It's too late. And he's running in the trop. I don't know. For some reason, I feel like guys really run well in the trop. I mean, Caballero single-handedly swept us when I was with the Mets one time, just stealing every base. Put it in your pocket. Most people, that type of hit, that type of contact is miserable, but not for Chandler Simpson. So credit to him. Let's watch his at-bats versus Schlittler yesterday, and then we'll be done with him. Because I know he got 3 knocks in this game yesterday. All right, Cam Schlittler, the man who just pounds the zone with 3 different fastballs. Sinker ball 1.
Fastball velocity sitting at 97.
It's funny. I had Garrett and Garrett Cole and his wife and his family over for a barbecue on Saturday, as he's not traveling with the team. And Amy was a big-time softball player in college, and we were talking softball. Look at him just stay through that. And we were talking about the run and slap technique that a lot of softball players have. You know, if you ever watch College World Series softball stuff, Women's College World Series, like there's a lot of that type of energy like that Chandler Simpson has. Because the infield's so small, you have no time, so you can do a lot of run and slap. And I think Chandler Simpson's exactly like that. So I find that interesting. All right, here's a slap on a curveball. So slaps a cutter up the middle, on time for 96, and then he slaps the curveball to left. We had already watched that one. Here's the next at-bat, missed bunt. Try to pull it with him, and then he's going to get out here on a fastball. I think to get him out, you want him to hit a fly ball. That's what I'd be trying to do. I'd be trying to pitch him up. Get him to hit a dang fly ball. All right, and then he gets another hit here off of Yarborough, I think. Every lefty is a sitting duck for the drag bunt with Chandler Simpson.
15 against lefties.
Sweeper here. Oh, hammered to right. Oh, that's going to be a triple. Yep, there he goes. That's the first ball I've seen him kind of punch. Oh, man. Good swing, though, here. Gets around this sweeper and kabooms it into the corner, and you just know you're standing on third with that type of speed. So he's fun to watch, man. We got a new entrant, new fun guy to watch. I like this guy. Very interesting approach. Ichiro had a bunch of those slap and run hits as well. It's true. It's just different in the age of exit velo and everybody backlegging everything and hitting tanks. Then you do have your contact guys like Arise, but they're not very fast. Then you have a guy like this. It shakes it up a little bit. And trust me, you don't want this guy on base when you're pitching because that's just going to creep into your dome and be another thing you have to deal with. So I like it. I like what he's got going on. Hopefully it's sustainable. I mean, he's not going to hit 411, but hopefully it is sustainable. He reminds me of Endy Chavez at the dish. Yeah, a little bit. Yeah. Bring the entire defense in. That's not a bad idea. Creep the outfield in super deep, force them to hit it over your head. And then you pinch in the corners a little bit. Yeah, I'm sure we're going to see some interesting shifts. The Brain Trust is already figuring out in the AL East how they want to align against this guy. So we'll see it pretty soon. Where would you bat Simpson? Is he leadoff for you for sure? I mean, he's a traditional leadoff, but and it's great right now. He's got a 441 on base, but last year he only had a 326 on base. So yeah, unfortunately, he's going to be leadoff or probably down in the order. Although I don't hate him with guys on base because he's going to put it in play. Obviously, he's not going to bat 2, 3, 4, or 5 for you. Everything else is probably on the table, but when he's got the good on base, leadoff is probably the best. If Chandler Simpson can hit like a Rise with his speed and defense, he'll be Carl Crawford. I don't think he's as good a hitter as a Rise, to be fair, but I like the slap and run technique. You never know. You never know. Ichiro had the faster key step MLB. I can't believe Chandler has a similar speed on this. Yeah. Well, I had my phone session with my speaker while BNC was playing on my screen with the volume off. I lost my train of thought 2 times. Sorry. Did Cam fool us after his first couple starts? Absolutely not. He's still great. He threw fine yesterday. He got beat by a slap team. He threw fine. He had 1 walk. He's got good shit with 1 walk. He'll be fine. That is a bold take, ABC. ACB. I don't see it, but we'll see. We'll see if you're correct. It'd be very low because arbitration's not going to pay for what he's doing. So there wouldn't be an extension here. I don't think he's an extension candidate at all. But we'll see. If there are guys on base, he puts so much pressure on the defense. That's part of the thing too. Like if you have guys on base and the defensive alignment has to be a little bit more like bunched somewhere, then there's more holes for his slap approach to work. So that's the argument for having him hit behind some guys. I don't know. He's just a fascinating player. Arise is a better hitter, but doesn't have the same tools. Totally agree. I mean, at the moment, this guy's a plus defender and a super plus base runner, and Arise can't say either of those things. So he might be a more valuable player, but it's hard to say. Okay. I think it is time for Degrom versus the Dodgers. I didn't get a great look at this yesterday. I know he gets clipped by Shohei first pitch of the game. But anytime you see a matchup of Degrom versus a team like the Dodgers, I'm going to want to check in on that. 6 innings, 4 hits, 1 run, 3 walks, 9 punchies, 1 homer, 93 pitches. On the other side, Sasaki did have 5 walks. I was wondering if I was going to look at him again. Not sure. Okay, for Jake. 43 heaters, 31 sliders, 16 changeups. That's a lot of changeups for him. All versus lefties. 2 curves and 1 sinker. How hard he's throwing. 97.2 on the average. Did get 32% whiff, mostly on the off speed. 64% strikes, 56% zone rate. So he was on. Looks like he was on based off the numbers. All right, Jake versus the incredible Los Angeles Dodgers. And we'll watch this. This is the first pitch of the game. Shohei, kaboom. I mean, it's bound to happen. That's why he bats leadoff, right? Just for the opportunity for a free heater to start the game. 108.3 at 39. I mean, it's just incredible how consistently a threat he is at all times, no matter what he's doing. Bam. First pitch heater. He misses his location in the middle, and Shohei kabooms it. So that's the first batter Jake faces, and then obviously he gives up nothing after that. All right, next batter is also a 1 pitch to Kyle Tucker, and he's under a fastball, pops him up. We'll fly out there. All right, here is Andy Pajes, who's in the 3-hole for the Dodgers off of the strength of his very strong start this year. And he gets him to fly that out to Nimmo. At least Nimmo and Jake have each other, you know? At least they have each other over there. This is a pretty good pitch to hit, but he just misses it. All right. And then called strike 3 here on Freddie. Him and Freddie have faced each other a ton. I bet like 80 times or something, or maybe even more. This pitch ends up being a called strike 3 to end the first inning. All right, Muncy's going to punch out on 3 pitches, so let's watch all 3. There's that get me over curveball. 4-seam. Away. He never really used to pitch away with us, but now he's pitching a lot more away. Fastball away. I mean, away to lefties, I should say. And then slider below the zone. See you later. Dominant sequence right there. Curveball, dotted down, fastball, slider off that. Another 3-pitch strikeout here. Okay, we'll watch that. Alex Freeland. 4-seam away. Paint. 4-seam away again. Oh no, 4-seam in now. Swing through. Love that. And then slider down in. See ya. His slider really, really, really looks like a fastball for a long time. I've played catch with Jake before. A lot of people try to do this, but not a lot of people can really make their slider look like a fastball for, 60 feet, which is what Jake does. So that was dirty there. And then he'll finish out the second inning, getting out rushing with a slider as well. And that's middle in. That's a good pitch to hit. You can tell by Rushing's reaction. But he's under it and he pops it up. Nims is there. And he's through 2 innings. On to the third. Here's a hit. Alex Call. Just a fastball and a fastball count. And it kind of leaks back to the middle a little bit. Base hit up the middle. So starts off the third with a base runner. Strikeout here of Kim. That's the second slider down in that they've challenged and been wrong about. For Freddie was the first one, Kim was the second one. And yet they're both there. So in their perception, that pitch is low. But it's not. Nice pitch. How old is Degrom now? I think he's 36. There's a walk to Shohei. So homer and a walk for Shohei. So 2 on and 1 out here. Strikeout of Tucker on a changeup. Ooh, nasty. We should watch this whole at bat. Let's see how he works out of this inning. Changeup fouled off. In his Cy Young years, he never even really threw. He didn't even really go to the changeup that much. Or actually, that might not be true. He used it a bit, but over time, as that velo really went up, he did a lot of fastball slider only. Like he gets the chase there. So it doesn't even really go fastballs in this spot to Tuck. All off speed. Change sliders and then changeup, and this is beautifully located. Nice pitch. Can you see his changeup in his glove? You can see it when he comes out. But it's too late to tap there if you're on second base. What does the slider look like in the glove? Oh yeah, he's tipping his slider and his changeup on second. You can see on wrist angle. The slider, I'm telling you, hopefully somebody shows this to Jake or something. Slider, his wrist is more flat here on the top, and then it's more open. It's like here, and then it's more open this way on the changeup. Watch the changeup. Oh shit! Watch the changeup now. See, now the wrist is flat, pointed back at me, and on the slider, it's going to be like turned this way. Right? There's the slider, slightly turned, completely flat on the changeup. Slider slightly turned, completely flat on the changeup. All right, let's see if we can find a fastball. All right, that looks like a slider. So you're not going to be able to tell four-seam or slider apart, but changeup he's tipping a little bit. So anyway, just wanted to point that out. And then Pajes, he gets out. What the hell happens here? Is there like a throw out or something?
Another 0-2.
All right, we just got a little info in the Discord about the matchups with Freddie and Degrom. Freddie has 77 at-bats with a .230 average and 3 home runs against Degrom as he gets bailed out there by what just happened? I wasn't even watching. Bad base running or something? Oh, he thought the inning was over, and now he's just out. That sucks. All right, Pajes up again. He's going to get a hit. We've mentioned he's been the best Dodger hitter in the early going. Line drive to left, base hit there. So another leadoff hit. I mean, it's subtle, like Period Skateboard says, but I could see it. He's tipping the changeup. Not that you need to know that, but he is a little bit from second base tipping that changeup. Here's Freddie. Freddie got a good wood on this changeup here. Yeah, pretty good. But right at him for the first out of the fourth. Here's a strikeout of Muncy on a changeup. He's got a great one. That's the thing. We always begged him to throw it more, but he didn't really need it as much. But I would watch him throw it a lot on the side. And I'm like, that's a plus pitch. Dirty. And then in play out on a changeup. So he did a lot of good work with changeup in this game. A lot of good work by Jake with changeup in this game. All right, 5th inning, 3-pitch strikeout. This is a fastball up. Doors to Rushing. See you later. And here's a walk to Alex Call. So Alex Call and Shohei are the two best guys so far. Shohei with a homer and a walk. Call with a single and a walk. In play out to Kim here on a changeup. Ooh, could be two. He's only going to get one. With a little bobble. And then they intentionally walk Shohei in this at-bat. Did they start pitching to him? Yeah, so they started pitching to him in this at-bat. And then once he falls behind, they say, screw it, go to first, and now set me up with Tucker. All right, let's watch this at-bat. This is the biggest at-bat of the game. First pitch, slider, strike. Now remember, in the previous at-bat, he threw him all sliders and changeups. And the first at-bat, it was a first pitch fastball that he popped up. So let's see if he wants to stay soft on Tuck throughout this at-bat. First pitch, slider for strike. Second pitch, fastball. They're going to go up away with it, I'm assuming. Up in. Gets the swing above the zone. I would do that again. Throw that again. Nope, they're going slider.
Degrom delivers.
Good take by Tuck, but he didn't have a tunnel there, so it makes sense. Four seam, up in again. Oof, great swing to even touch that. Change up, okay. Non-competitive, runners move up. Slider. Oof, not a good height, but it got in enough where it kind of jams him and he fouls it off, and then he's going to punch him with a changeup.
Another 2-2 to Tucker.
Nasty. So punches out Tucker twice in big spots. And really, changeup was a key pitch in this outing for Jake. He's got great velo. It's not what he had before. All right, sixth inning. Pages again. This time he's going to get him to put in play a slider. Ooh, good pitch to hit. Doesn't hit it. Pops it up. Nice play there. First pitch out to Freddie on a curveball. Freddie always ready to hit first pitch. Good pitch to hit, but he's under it. And then his last out is a strikeout of Muncy. He owned Muncy in this game. And that's middle. Or that wasn't the last out. My bad, because he gave up a hit before. That's an out. That's a strikeout down the middle. This is his last out. Fastball up into Freeland. Gets it above the zone, pops it up. So, I don't know, man. I mean, he's still so good. Like, when it comes to just, like, what's the point of the game? To not allow runs? He's amazing at that. He's so freaking consistent at that. You know? That's never really going to change. He's at 2.87 through his first three starts, 15 2/3, 22 strikeouts, 96.96 whip. The changeup's become a weapon. Look at it. At times it's below the zero line on vert, so that's great. Obviously he's not throwing as hard anymore, but it's still plenty hard. He's averaging 97.1 with the heater. His fundamentals are always going to be there. His command's always going to be there. And that's why he's got a career 2.58 in 1,555 and a third innings. And a .99 whip. It's not just the stuff. It's just he's just so good at making big pitches when he needs to make them. He's 3 wins away from 100, which is sad. He should have been at 100 a long time ago, but his teams have routinely not cooperated for him. So kind of crazy to see that. That's what happens when you face Degrom. He locks in when runners get on. That's true. He's actually been one of the best ever. With guys on base. He does go to another level with guys on base. It's actually one of the things that separates him from other guys who are pretty good. That Degrom slider, if you look at it at the spin base, it should be death ball, but somehow always creates a late movement to the glove side. You're right. It's got a tiny bit of seam shift in there that pushes it left late. But, man, his fastball just doesn't deviate. Sliders doesn't deviate from that fastball till very late. I've had so many hitters who have faced Jake over the years tell me that they think they're swinging at a fastball, and it's not a fastball. You know? So, it's crazy. Put him in the Hall. Yeah, only three away. So he's 37 now. So he's not going to get anywhere close to 200 wins. I think he still should get a good chance to get to the Hall, but it's like, based on everybody else, it's been tough, you know? It's been tough because he's not even remotely close in the wins department. I don't know if that should matter or not, but he's not. Interesting KC stat from Dan Clark. Bobby Witt has reached base 30 times and has been stranded 29. We just talked about that earlier. Horrible. They have not hit with him behind. Golden era of baseball. Best pitcher, Degrom. Best player, Shohei. Best right-handed hitter, Judge. Yeah, I think that's probably close, although Judge got some competition right-handed hitters with Cabrera and Pujols. You know, left-handed hitter, obviously it's Bonds. Have I used Prospect Savant? Yeah, I use it. We use it quite a bit. It's good to note, you know, kind of the profile of the players that you're about to see. It's not everything though. Obviously, get to the big leagues, things change, but yeah, we love looking at Prospect Savant. We did it all off season for sure. Will be a massive test of changing mindset when it comes to putting him in the Hall of Fame. Totally agree. Is Degrom better than Randy, though? No, he's not better than Randy Johnson. No shot. But in a small sample, he had a more dominant stretch, which is hard to say. So there's a lot of people that are in the mix, but yeah, I have Jake rated very high for the stretch that he put forth. Let's see where it was. I mean, it's this stretch right here, including the 1-7 year with the 2 Cy Youngs, but like just this year in 2021, he didn't get to finish it out. But 15 starts, 92 innings, 146 strikeouts. I mean, it's just crazy. His strikeout to walk ratio that year is 13.27. I mean, it's just wild. 324, 373 ERA plus. So I don't know. A lot of people have an argument. It'd be good to go head to head and really figure out where I stand. But I think Jake has stretches that can stand up to any pitcher. Any pitcher. Not today, but yeah, at some point. Just sharing to share because I'm off today, but I added 8 to 9 fastballs at the end of a JV game. Hell yeah, let's go. So did you do some coiling in your delivery and then releasing with fury coming out of that? Oh, Legrand has a sinker now. Imagine if the Mets kept Degrom and Wheeler together. That'd be pretty damn good. It'd be expensive, but it'd be pretty damn good. Yeah. So this is my opinion. If he could find a way to win the Cy a third time, he'd be hard not to put in, right? 3 Cy Youngs. I don't know if there's anybody with 3 that's not in. So to me, that would be pretty good. I was actually talking about this the other day. I was wondering what they're going to do here if they do decide to make a move. You know, at what point do they pull up a Jones or a Dominguez? I don't know. We'll see. I know Dominguez is playing great in AAA. I don't know about Jones. I think Jones has a ton of strikeouts to begin the year. All right. I got about 20 minutes left on today's streamage. Who else do I have on the list? Jordan Walker with another home run. Brandon Lau, Wilson Contreras, Nick Kurtz. Those are some hitters we could run through. Logan Gilbert had a good start. All right. Let's dial in on another Jordan Walker home run because this guy's just hitting dingers. Jordan freaking Walker leading the league with 7 homers and red across the board and everything. And who was it against? Who the Cardinals just play? They just played the Sox, which is good because you can watch the Contreras one at the same time. So Cardinals, Sox. And here's the Jordan Walker home run versus Brian Bayo. Strike 1 there. And cutter here.
Which has been really fun to see. And he hits another high.
It's crazy, like the upright stance has allowed him to, even when he's reaching, he's been able to get under these balls. This is not an optimal swing, but it's just crazy that he didn't hit any dingers the last 2 years. I mean, he got a ton of ABs to hit less than 10 home runs over the last 2 years combined, and then he's almost there now. And we're still in April.
That one's steep. That one's back. That one
It's the stance change has been everything for him. He's able to see the ball for a little bit longer, his commit points a little bit later, and also he's riding pitches out a little bit better. So he's on time for the heater, but then he's also got some adjustability in his swing before, which he definitely never had before. But he's not just pulling the ball, Ted. He's hitting them all over the park. I mean, look at the spray chart. He's got 2 home runs to the opposite field. He's got 5 singles to the opposite field. Actually, most of his home runs are just center. I would argue he's not pulling the ball that much. He's one of the rare guys who doesn't need to. So there's Jordan Walker. I mean, he's a monster. He's like a judge. He's literally a monster. Then on the other side of things, Contreras had a 3-run home run and a 4-hit game here. All right, let's watch the whole at-bat for the home run.
He responded yesterday with a 2 RB6. Had some career
Facing Andre Palante, the man with the weird fastball. Knuckle curve strike. Sinker coming here.
During B,
Already glaring at people. Then he gets closer to the plate. Timeout. Watch Contreras here. This guy is something else. All right, check out the distance off the plate. Right? Then this pitch comes in, sinker in. He gives a look out there like, how dare you?
During BP, every single one of
You
the
see
Red
that?
Sox
See that look? How dare you throw an inside fastball to me? How dare you? And then what does he do? He just goes and gets all up on the plate. Now look at him. Now he's even with the thing. So here he's way back there. Next pitch he gets closer. What's up with this guy? But either way, I kind of want a ball here. Yep, sure does.
2 outs.
He's going to get himself a good count because of the shenanigans.
It is
Sure
fun
does.
watching. He's trying to keep the inning alive. 3 balls and a strike.
Oh my God, what was that? This is so whack. This is so whack. You're so corny.
3 balls and a strike.
But hey, shit's working because he's about to go deep right here on a sinker.
Durbin goes. Pitch is
Now that pitch looks middle because he's all over the plate. You see that?
Track at the wall. He can't get it. Contreras with a 2-run
Good swing though, 3-run jack. That basically broke it open. That won them the game. 106-2 at 28, dead center. And he opened up his front leg a little bit here, but he's still all over the dish. So he had 3 different positionings in this one at bat.
Is cracked to center.
Crazy.
Back to the track at the wall. He can't get it.
Yeah, I'd be mad if I was pitching too. I might have just hit him with the next pitch, to be honest, instead. Are we doing this? Are we doing this or what, buddy? That's how I'd be feeling. All right, here's another hit. Also off Palante. Now he's way off the plate again. Stays through a slider to left. Just that one take I didn't like. If I was pitching, I would have been irked by it. But obviously the gamesmanship is working, so I'm not going to tell him not to do it. Sinker in, pull the left, base hit. So 2 singles and a homer. And then he gets a hit here on a changeup versus Schuster. Infield hit. So it's funny. He committed to staying through the ball in the first at-bat, and he goes home run to center, and then he tries to pull everything the next 3 and get some hits. Let's see what the Story contact looked like, because I know he had 4 hits as well. Trevor Story, he's been needing some hits. Base hit on a sinker there. He's another guy who's really good to right center when he's right. Base hit there. Here's a hit on a fastball.
They're playing hard. They're having fun. They seem to be very prepared.
Line drive the other way. Base hit.
With a young club. So, you know, preparation.
So good. Going the other way. I love that. Here's another hit. On a curve. Should be pulling a curveball, though. Yep. Pulls the curveball. All right. Timing looking a little better. Anyway, Trev. Good swing there. This time he gets out on a changeup. That's just a good pitch. It's funny, he's probably pretty close to safe on this. Yep. And then he's going to get a hit here on a fastball. 3 hits the other way, pulled the 1 off-speed pitch. That's a good day at the plate. This might be a good reset day for Story. So happy to see Story finally have a pretty good offensive game. I know he'd been really scuffling to start the season, but 4 for 5, that's pretty dang good. And now he's up to 182. Good to see, though. He had really had... How many hits had he gotten? He got 12 hits. He got 4 of them yesterday. So he got 33% of his hits yesterday. So hopefully that's a sign of things to come if you're a Sox fan. All right, I thought that was fun. You know, Mr. Contreras. To quote Superfad, Contreras woke up praying for a fight. If it was me, I would have been like, hey, let's do this. And then he might have come out there and beat my ass. But who knows? Who knows? Maybe not. Maybe not. Jordan Walker is younger than DeLauder. That's good to note. That's very good to note. He got called up super young, so that is good to note. Palante sees him move to the plate, remembers the threat that caused Palante to pitch away. 100%. Palante got spooked out of the inside corner after Contreras gave him the glare and got on the plate. So it worked. He bullied him. He bullied into throwing him a shitty sinker middle away, and then he homered. Moving around in the box is high IQ. I agree, and I've talked about a lot of people should be doing that. A lot of maybe not the antics, but moving around in the box does rattle pitchers, does affect guys figuring out what they want to do out there. It does mess you up a little bit, so I think more guys should do it, but we see a lot of people who don't do it, and I think the reason why they don't do it is because they want to stand in the same spot every day, every at-bat, so they feel like they know where the strike zone is, and I think that's more important than moving around. But I like guys who move around and spice it up a little bit. I think it's fun. Contreras first batter's box. It's too much to watch like a lot of Dylan Dingler right now. I mean, I can go look at his I mean, he's a hell of a defensive catcher. You can watch some of the balls he put in play real quick, but damn, 437 ex-Woba is serious. He's hitting the tar out of the ball. Let's see the balls that he has. Let's see these 4 extra base hits. Here's a 3-run homer off Sandy. This was yesterday. Ooh, pull the hands in on a changeup. That's a bomb. Nice swing there. But I can't like do a deep dive on all his at-bats just because that would take too long. We don't have any time right now. But I am going to watch his homers. That's one off my guy Marinaccio. I'm going to force him up. That's a tough pitch to cover. He covered this, no problem. Man, if Dylan Dingler is going to mess around and become a good hitter, we have a star in our hands because he's already a top 3 defensive catcher in the league. Damn, good swing right there. And then this one's way back off of McGreevy. Oof. You go over the visiting bullpen in Detroit, that's a bomb. That's a freaking bomb. Nice shot there, and then for good measure, there's also a double here. This comes in the desert off of Joe Ross. So he's showing some good pull side pop in the early going. Hitting the ball really hard. What's Dingler's average bat speed? Slightly below average on the bat speed. So don't expect the power to continue crazy. But he's also chasing too much. These numbers will come back to earth. He's making great contact right now when he's making contact. So everything's coming up roses. But I do think that these numbers will come back to earth a little bit because his propensity to chase is still there. He's not chipping in onto his on base with walks, and his natural bat speed is more mid than anything else. So I like him a lot, but I don't think he's going to be sitting at a 97th percentile ex-Woba all year. Personally, although, yeah, barrels are king. He's got 17.6% barrels this year, which is pretty damn good. All right, you want to look at Luke Raley for a second? We're going to do a couple of StatCast look-arounds. Sure. I think we're almost done, honestly. I think I've watched enough baseball players, so we'll do probables in a minute, and I'll get ready for my golf game. Why is Dylan Dingler so good? He's amazing at catcher, first of all. Framing, blocking, everything, throwing. He's good at all of those. But then at the plate, Right now, he's barreling everything. He's making really good contact. I don't think it's sustainable, though. I think he'll be good, but I don't think it'll be great. All right, Luke Raley, this is crazy. This is a... Thanks for having me look at this. So he's got 52.4% whiff. Wow. So it's either he's murdering the ball when hitting it or missing it completely outright. It's very strange to look at. It's also chasing and swinging at everything. No walks, tons of Ks. I mean, he's got almost a 40% K rate, but yet he's got a 395 xwOBA because he's hitting the tar out of the ball when he does hit it. Very weird profile. Thanks for having me look at this one, Noah. This is a very weird profile for sure for old Luke Raley. Only hit 4 home runs in 219 plate appearances last year. He's got 3 already this year. Might as well watch him. Might as well watch him for a minute.
Last year, he was the other part of the Harry Ford trade. Raley, that is a missile.
Smashed. Down the line for a homer. That's the first one. I think he hit them all in this same series, to be honest with you. Yeah, he did. Here's one off Holderman, former Met legend. So both of them have been breaking balls that he's been able to just get out and around. And then let's see what this one's probably a fastball. Connor Brogdon. Yeah, this one's a fastball up away, and he destroys that. So, I mean, look, I haven't been watching him on a daily basis. It's pretty crazy that he's striking out so much. But, man, when he's hitting it, he's impacting it. So what's going to break here? Some of the top numbers are going to go down. Some of the bottom numbers are probably going to go up, and he'll end up being somewhere more in the middle. I do think who he is who he was in 2024. Like a high 700 OPS, right in the 20s of home runs, a little too much strikeout in his game. Can definitely impact it. But right now, he is a 3 true outcome hitter for sure. Okay. What else we got here in the chat? Because I am tired and I have to get out of here in a minute. Is Judge not struggling because he's not getting the bat to the right spot? Would that be a timing issue? If that was the issue, but from what I've watched, I think he's making some bad judgments, some bad rulings for the judge. I just think he's, not swung at some good pitches to hit. And I think the ABS might be messing up the Yankees a little bit. They were so proficient on it, and they harped so hard on it in spring training, and then they've come out in the year this year, and I think there's been some indecision on when to utilize it. And I think they've made some bad swing decisions at times. So to me, Judge is in that group a little bit, just not seeing the ball quite as good as he would like to, and, swinging at some bad pitches, not swinging at some good pitches. So that's kind of where I would be at. Some weird numbers this year. Have you heard any guys complaining that the baseball scent in the cold weather is slicker? I'm not there every day, so I haven't heard any of the usual baseball complaints this year, but typically this time of year, those are both true. Just slicker. Maybe not the thinner seams, but definitely slicker. Ayo, would you consider watching Okamoto? Yes, he's on the list. He's going to get a whole video for his start off too. Hopefully I'll get that in soon. I'm going to try to grind away a few of these tonight if I can. Golfing with ex-teammates today? No, I'm golfing with one of my buddies that was the one who was playing catch with me to get me ready for WBC. So him and some of his friends. So that should be fun. This is likely what Adam Dunn's Savant page looked like. Yes, the Luke Raley, that's probably what Adam Dunn's page looked like. I totally agree, Mitch. He's the two or three true outcomes. Here it's only 2 because he doesn't have any walks. So Dunn would have more walks and probably less chase, but he would have like the first percentile whiff, first percentile K. For sure. So that's funny to look at. All right, time for probables. And then we're going to call it today. All right, we're here on a Monday, so that means we have new series. Thanks for hanging with me today, everybody. All right, Mike Burrows, George Kirby from Seattle. So Houston and the Mariners going at it. These two teams have been in a blood feud, I feel like, the last few years. Diamondbacks, Orioles, Ryan Nelson and his fastball takes it to Camden Yards. Nationals, Pirates, Cade Cavalli, Paul Skeens. So Skeens back on the bump today in Pittsburgh. So that means there's going to be some aces on the mound. And here's another one. Cubs, Phillies, Hassad and Sanchez from the bank. Angels, Yankees. Yankees just flew to Tampa, came right back. Kikuchi and Will Warren. Warren's looked great in the early going. Yankees have lost 5 in a row. They need to turn it around. We'll see how they look in this Angels series. This is a lineup that they match up well against on the mound and in the box. So I think they have the edge here, but we'll see. They could just be in a bad stretch. Marlins, Braves, Yuri Perez, Grant Holmes from Atlanta. Red Sox, Twins, Crochet and Ober. Crochet looking to get the Sox inch closer back to 500 here in the early going. They'll face Bailey Ober. He's a super strike thrower. Guardians, Cards, Williams and Liberatore. Those are the two aces there. Rangers, A's, Evaldi, Sevi from Sacramento. Evaldi's off to a bumpy start this year. We'll see how he looks today. Mets, Dodgers is our last game. David Peterson coming off of a rough go in his last start. There was a lot of talk about how he needed to command his fastball to the glove side better. We'll see if that improves today and what he looks like today. I don't bet against David. I do feel like he's very strong mentally and has a good ability to bounce back from tough games. So we'll see how he looks today or if this is more of a trend. And he's facing Robleski, who's getting a start for the Dodgers today. Robleski's looked good in the early going. So those are our games for today. That's it for me. Thanks for hanging out today. Did see Sam Antonacci is debuting tomorrow. Very excited for that. Team Paisan has another big leaguer in the mix. He'll be there. And I'll be back tomorrow. Hopefully there will be that weather hold video coming out today. I've done the majority of it, so I just have to knock off the last like 15 minutes and then splice those together. And then I'll try to record another one and another one and another one. Enjoy the day. Enjoy getting your week off to a good start, everybody. The weather's really warming up here in the Northeast. And I will enjoy the sandbox. I will be living in the sand today. Pretty much no doubt about that. But I'll be having fun because I'll be outdoors. And it's a good day to get outside and get some exercise. So great to see you guys. Thanks for hanging with me today. And I will catch you again tomorrow. Keep a lookout for those videos. All right. Adios, everybody.